Good morning. I could speak about the improvements that we have been doing in the map document. I'm not going to get into too much detail because my colleague Jose Vicente Igon yesterday was already speaking about this project. And this is in the framework of the IDEEX, which is the infrastructure of spatial data for PDVSA, and this is a huge company. So the idea was to put online all this data available for the organization with some geoportals and so on. Yesterday you already had a rough idea. This is the oil company of Venezuela. So the context of the project was marked by the needs expressed by the geodesic management and exploration. So we should produce maps in order to support exploration campaigns, reports, presentations. Usually these are large format maps, A0 sometimes, and with complex symbologies. I speak about symbologies because everything together with the size of the format makes this be important. These are one of the things that we're trying to improve precisely within the framework of this project. The idea is to use within the gvSIG organization in order to get linked to this spatial data, to have them, the data online in order to prepare the maps. One of the things that was very important for them was to have a workflow oriented towards the cartographic production, because the typical use of software is not doing analysis but creating maps directly, theme maps. So this is perhaps a different use from the one I have seen in other organizations, and perhaps gvSIG was not optimized for this type of workflow. Another important issue was to be able to improve the usability of the layout tool in order to generate this kind of cartography in a faster way and in a more convenient way for the user. As I said, this is important due to the size of the prints and the time that we may need to have a document of this size and having a finish which is adequate to the aim. Well, at the gvSIG we have the view document and the map document, and then you can download maps and you can download layers. On the left we have the view document, which is where everything was configured, analysis were done, and on the right hand side the map document, which is where we prepare a map to be printed later on. But you can have different views as you see on the right hand side. This is nothing new for us, and is very powerful when we are combining different areas and overview. Regarding the workflow, we draw the conclusion that the view document is oriented towards analysis and processing, geoprocesses, format conversion, and so on. And the map document is directed to the preparation of maps, graphic scale, north, templates. But there is a series of actions which is configuring, labeling, loading layers, configure scale. That was done only in the view document, but there is nothing of these actions that does not belong to map preparation. Whenever you want to prepare a map, you have to configure symbology, configure your layers, the printing scale, which can be different from the view scale. So then we wanted to do some of these actions. For this, we wanted to do something else because now, when you open map, then you have a configuration dialog. Because if you are going to create a map document, you will want to create a view. So this dialog allows you to create a view which already exists, or a view that you can create on the spot. And when creating this, it is going to be created adjusted to the map size, which is a very important advantage. Usually this is complex. If we put some margins, then it will be adjusted, it will fit into the margins that we have created, but this is a useful way to create it. On the other hand, here we configure the size, the page size, which is important when you are going to do a map. In order to print, the best thing to do is to configure the paper, and I think this is something that you can start with. So as soon as you create it, you may define it. After you can change it if you want, but whenever you change the size of the paper, many things change, the scale changes, so this is something that should be done right from the beginning, because there's sometimes, well, the thing is this is modified. So following with this work, in the sense that I'll be able to do everything I need in order to do theme cartography, and in case that I do not have to do any analysis, then what you see here, you see that on the left hand side you have contents where you can configure layers, symbology, the same thing as in the view. And on the upper side, you see that these are tools, which some of which already existed, but here you have the possibility of adding layers, and the tool has also a preview, and this is very useful. And the configuration of the scale, because previously that was complex. The configuration of the scale in the map document was quite complex. I'll show you later how it used to be done before, and how are we doing this now. This is a capture of versions 1x. That was when you were configuring the framework of the view, the situation of the view within the map. Here we had the configuration of the scale that had a series of options which were complex to understand, and this dialog was the only place where you could modify it. You didn't have a magic control as we have now. So these options having changed and replaced with others which are different, and I think more adapted to what a user does, because previously we had different options, life profile and so on, but now we have separated this into two parts. One is if we want to synchronize the layers and the extension of the map with the view, then we can see which are the layers that we want to place. And if you do a change in the view, it will be reflected in the map, and if you do a change in the map, it will also be reflected in the view. So creating a map based on a view, uh, uh, well, up to now it was not synchronized, but now it can be synchronized. And the same for the extension. On the other hand, we have some more detailed options regarding the scale and extension. The scale means that it's not fixed, that you can change it with the tool, with the thumb or the scale, because when you do a thumb, you are also changing the scale. And if it's synchronized with the view, then that's interesting. The other options is that we want to fix the scale in the map document. That means we want a 1/10,000 scale in the size that we have in the printing scale. I mean that we have chosen. And another option is that we want to fix the extension of the map. As soon as we mark a fixed scale or a fixed extension, automatically the option synchronizing extension with the view will not be synchronized anymore. This is so due to a series of reasons. On the one hand, because the scale of the view and the scale of the map is not usually the same, because one is referred to the screen and the other is referred to the paper size. So if you reflect it here, then the view is a bit strange. And regarding the extension, regarding both of them, as you can have a view associated to two different maps, we thought that for the user it was more confusing than if it is synchronized, because if I establish one scale in a map and in another map I establish another scale, everything in the same map, then we don't know what's going to what the owner of the map is going to think. So then we can have the layers synchronize and synchronize ourselves again with a non-fixed scale. Then we have improved a series of specific tools, adding options, trying to improve the user interface. One of them is the square, the grid, which is very important. One of the important things that we have done is that you can put a distance. For instance, I want to have a line every 10 meters or every 2 kilometers or whatever. Or also you can have the number of horizontal divisions in this map. Whether I do zoom in or zoom out, then the program will calculate the 5 divisions. I can say whether I want horizontal or vertical divisions, and that depends on the paper or on the map we are using. And another important detail is that when we choose distance, it offers a reasonable distance. It'll calculate a number of visions, which I think is 5, and it calculates this for the scale that we have now. And this is important because we use to have this free, but it's a question of usability. But the thing is, when you use the default options, then now you will not have 10,000 lines. You now by default you will see only 5 lines, 5 divisions. Another important thing is the format of the label, which is shown in the grid. The grid, I'm speaking about what you see here in the center of the screen. This is the grid. So this label, we can say that uh, it should be done only for the labels of the horizontal axis or the vertical axis. We can also configure the number format, and this is adapted much better adapted to the way in which this is shown in the different countries. We may say whether we want a separator of thousands and whether we want to use a comma or a dot, and also for decimals. And here we see a sample of the view of the label. We could have done more things and they could be very useful, but we try to capture the essence of and after, with your feedback, you will tell us whether we were wrong or not. Another improvements which are visible. 5 minutes, Cesar, are left. Before, when preparing a document, adding a scale and so on and so forth, then we were doing that in a way that was using a lot of memory, in such a way that we could create a problem, and if we were doing an important sum, we were going to be left out without any memory, and that could happen in different situations. With a big thumb on the paper, for instance, that has been optimized and is not going to use so much memory. So then we can edit the map document no matter which size the paper is, and we are not going to be left out without memory. That refers to the preparation of the document. When printing, we require a lot of memory if we have, for instance, vectorial complex symbologies, a big size of the paper. So we have identified that it was also important to be able to configure the memory. Here we have a limitation, which is not having Windows for 64 bits, because that limits the maximum quantity of memory that we can have. We will solve this, and in Linux you can add a lot of memory, and you are sure that you are not going to be left without any memory. And we see that the way of drawing is much more precise, and we also wanted to improve usability. When you add a circle, a text, then automatically the text tool is not selected anymore, and you select another tool. Because when you have added a text, probably you want to edit it and not adding more text. Well, there will be some cases in which this is not the case, but in most cases this will be like that. We also were improving service printing, the orientation of the PDF, circles with grids, filled polygons, and so on. And sometimes the Acrobat, for instance, the PDF was not opening it in horizontal direction. And of course, we had more ideas for improvement, which are already identified and we wanted to tackle, but the time of the project is limited. We can improve, in fact, and we can implement rasterized versions that we are never left without memory, printing memory, even if it's a very complex map. And having more options in legends, improvements in graphic scale, because when you print is a blocking process, but we have more ideas to improve this, and that's all by me.